What is going on, everybody? Make sure you check down in the description below so that you can find out how to get entered into my Road to 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We've reached that milestone and we are tentatively scheduled for October 8th, so be on the lookout for an announcement to make that official. If you like comic book mystery boxes, then you can check down the description below as well and find out how to get a SmallTown Collectibles comic book mystery box. Also, my code was Street Level Hero LA, where you can get 10% off your order and raise some money for a great cause. It is another beautiful day here in the hills of Eastern Kentucky, and it's Tuesday, so you know what time it is. It's time for first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, September 29th, 2021. So let's get started. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. Before I jump into talking about the first appearances and the key issues and the covers this week, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I want to ask you to do that now. Hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Smash that thumbs up button if you like the video, and leave a comment below and let me know what books you're checking out this week. I say it every week. I want this to be a conversation between myself and the community, and I want to see that down in the comments where we can kind of go back and forth on the books you're looking at, anything you're reading that I haven't listed. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into our first category, and that's the covers. So only really two covers that stood out to me this week. There are several out there, but I guess the two that really kind of stood out for me was Inferno #1, the Art Germ variant. You can get this in, I think, the 1 in 100, which is a virgin cover. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful cover of Mystique, very sleek. I just dig it. And I'm not even that big of an X-Men fan per se, but that is a gorgeous cover. And then our other cover is from DC, and that is Deathstroke Inc. #1, the Cover B variant by Francisco Mattina. Again, Mattina, kind of a typical Mattina cover, but you've got, Deathstroke. It's basically split in half. You got the mask over here and then like a burning skull over here. I don't know. It's just dope. Like, I dig it. Love the way that one looks. I'm generally a homer for Mattina cover. I love his style. But yeah, Deathstroke Inc. #1, very, very cool cover from Mattina this week. So that's it for the covers this week. Just two, but I really like both those covers. And I will pick those up at my shop if I can locate them. So I do want to kind of throw a shout out here to my guy Joe over at Anachronic Comics. He does a top 5 new comic book day covers, which is really cool. And if you're into covers and really want a good list for that, go over and check out Joe's channel. Tell him Jimmy sent you, but great guy, and does a very, very solid video on new comic book day covers. So all right. With that done, let's jump over into our second prints. So a few second prints of note this week. First, we've got a couple of Last Ronin. You've actually got the 4th printing of the Last Ronin #1 out this week, and then you have the 3rd print of #2. So you got both those from IDW, and if you're following that and picking up the various printings, you may want to grab those. Then you have a book that was really, really hot, Batman Urban Legend #6. The 2nd print is out this week. And this, of course, is the book where Tim Drake was revealed to be bisexual. The cover A was really, really hot. I ended up selling, I think, maybe like 6 of them for like $35 a piece on eBay. So a lot of people, a lot of interest in that book, and that 2nd print may be one you want to grab. And then finally, the Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters #3 has its 2nd print out this week. And I know there are some Star Wars fans that watch this, so I do want to point those out if they're 2nd printings for that War of the Bounty Hunters run. All right, guys, that's it for the 2nd printings or the multiple printing. I call it 2nd printings, but, it can be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever. You get it. Multiple printings. That's it for this week. So let's jump on over into the key issues. So a few books you may be interested in this week that I'm not necessarily going to highlight here, but books that I am reading. Superman 78 #2 comes out this week. Again, if you're a Superman fan, Christopher Reeves being my Superman, I loved the first one. I thought it was great. Can't wait to read #2. Another one of my favorites, but again, a homer pick for me, Superman Son of Kal-El #3. Really enjoyed the story thus far. Crossover number 8. I've actually dropped crossover number 8, but I know a lot of people still read that. Or I said I dropped crossover number 8. I dropped crossover back at issue 6. But I know a lot of people still like to read that book, so I wanted to let you know it was out there. Department of Truth number 13. I'm still enjoying that read as well. Undiscovered Country number 16, I think is a great story by Scott Snyder. I love it. And then Thor number 17 is out this week, continuance of the Donny Cates run. All right, so with those out of the way, let's talk about our highlighted books. I got a couple from DC this week. First one is Batman versus Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham number 1. This is the team up of 2 detectives from different realities, Batman and Bigby Wolf from Bill Willingham's Fables. So that may be something you want to check out. You know, we're getting a little closer to Halloween, almost into October, so you're going to start seeing some of these titles like this come out. If that's something that interests you, Batman vs. Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham number 1 is out this week. Then we've got Detective Comics number 1043. I've been enjoying the Detective Comics run. I know some people don't, but I've really enjoyed it. This book is highlighted, though, because there's a backup story featuring Red Hood and Deb Donovan, which leads into Task Force Z. So that may be something that you want to check out. All right, so that's it for DC. Let's jump over into Marvel. I've got a few here for Marvel this week. Amazing Spider-Man number 74. This is the final issue written by Nick Spencer. I know that is welcome news to a lot of Amazing Spider-Man fans. I've read the entire run. I thought it was okay, but it got boring. But this is Spencer's final issue on that run. There's a ton of covers out this week for that. So be on the lookout for those. Then you've got Extreme Carnage Omega number 1, and this is a one-shot, which is the conclusion of the previous one-shots featuring Phage, Lasher, Agony, Riot, and Toxin. You also get a team-up of Sleeper, Anti-Spawn, and Toxin in this issue. Then we've got Inferno number 1, which I mentioned earlier, that beautiful Mystique cover. And this is the first issue in a 4-issue limited series written by Jonathan Hickman. So that could be good, especially if you're an X-Men fan. I know Hickman wrote that Powers of 10, House of X, and I really enjoyed those, but then I kind of lost it once we got into the X-Men run, the normal title. But yeah, if you're a Hickman fan, X-Men fan, Inferno number 1 this week. Then we've got Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 30. This is the anniversary special celebrating 10 years since Miles was first introduced into the Marvel Comics. You got cover on this featuring Miles in a new costume that debuted in Amazing Spider-Man number 29 in 2021. And then wrapping up the list for Marvel this week is Star Wars number 17, which of course is a War of the Bounty Hunters tie-in. The gift that keeps on giving from Star Wars, War of the Bounty Hunters. Can't believe that's not over yet. Anyway, all right. If you like that book, if you're into Star Wars, you've got that one out this week. So let's jump over into our independents. And the first book up this week is 10 Years to Death, number 1 from Aftershock. This is a one-shot based on a true story about a prison guard and a notorious mass murderer and the death that binds them together. I really dig that. That's a book I'm definitely going to pick up. I'm a sucker for the true story angle. And absolutely going to check 10 Years to Death, number 1 from Aftershock out this week. Then we jump over to Boom, where you've got Berserker number 5. And of course, this is just issue 5 in the 12-issue limited series. I know a lot of people have cooled on Berserker. I'm still enjoying it. So if you are, Berserker 5 is out this week. Then Something is Killing the Children, number 20. In this book, you get the origin of Erica Slaughter, specifically her initiation into the Order of St. George and the bonding ceremony with her monsters. So looking forward to reading that. I've continued to enjoy that run from Tinian. Then from Scout, you have Corset, number 1. The synopsis reads, a young girl ruins a world-famous fashion designer's grand fashion show, which results in him inviting her to his home in a clock tower where he intends to reveal his dark secrets. So, another horror type book from Scout. This is one that I'll pick up and flip through before I make the purchase. But Corset number 1 from Scout this week, if you're into the horror genre, might be a good book to check out. Then from Image, we've got the final issue in the Die series. Die number 20 is out this week. was another book. I may pick that trade up and read it. I read like the first 4 or 5 issues, kind of lost interest, but I hear it's been good. So Die number 20, the final issue, is out this week. Then you've got Gun Hunting number 1, which wins the award for best title this week. Gun Hunting number 1 from Titan Comics. Synopsis is: a Singapore-born weapons expert gets enlisted by the U.S. government to track down a brutal criminal that she unintentionally helped escape from prison. Now, this is in development for a TV series by a Malaysian production house. So I think they're called Double Vision. So you may want to check that one out, but I love the name, Gun Hunting, and I like the synopsis too. That's one I'll probably check out. Then from Vault, we've got Human Remains number 1. The synopsis reads: love is a dangerous thing in this new and terrifying world where invader monsters deprive people of the very emotions that make them human. Sounds interesting. Then you've got Star Wars Adventures, Ghost of Vader's Castle number 2. This is issue number 2, of course, or part 2 in a 5-issue limited series. Then you have Turbo Kid, Apple's Lost Adventures number 1 from Behemoth. This is a 2-issue limited series based on the 2015 B movie. Then another more kind of Halloween themed type book. You've got Transformers Halloween Special number 1 from IDW. This is a one-shot horror story featuring Starscream. And then wrapping up the indies this week on the key issues is Verge number 1, and this is from Red 5 Comics. New York City becomes an even more diverse melting pot after a mysterious time travel event lands people from across history into the city, which results in the investigation of a murdered samurai. That sounds kind of cool. Yeah, time travel, samurais. Yeah, I like it. So, Verge number 5 from Red 5 Comics. All right, guys, that wraps up the key issues this week. Let's jump on over into our first appearances. So first up on the first appearances this week is Batman Reptilian number 4, a book that I've really enjoyed reading. It's a great story. And in this book, you have the possible first full appearance of the reptilian creature. Now, I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't read it. You should read it. It's good. But you have the possible first appearance here, the first full appearance of one of the main characters here, or the protagonist in this story. You also get a possible cameo of the reptilian's mother. The reptilians are offspring of Killer Croc, if you didn't know that. So there you go. Fun facts on this episode of First Appearances and Key Issues. Then we have Deathstroke Inc. number 1, where you get the first team appearance of Trust. That's TRUST, a secret organization who wants to take down heavy hitter villains. Then we've got the Detective Comics number 1043. We talked about a little earlier. In this one, we have the first team appearance of the Red Crown. And then wrapping up our first appearances list this week is the Marvel number 5, where you get the first appearance of Warbird in costume. So there you go, guys. That is your first appearances list this week. So several good books out this week. Not as heavy on me, I believe, on the wallet as last week was. Last week was brutal. But a lot of good choices out there for New Comic Book Day. So if you're looking, I think, if you're a first appearance collector, you got several books to look at. A lot of good key issues out there. A lot of good stories, ongoing stories coming out this week. So yeah, plenty to buy. So guys, thank you for coming over and hanging out with me for a little bit today. I really appreciate you taking the time. Of course, if you're not subbed up to the channel yet, do that now. Turn on the notification bell. Do all the other good things. And yeah, that's it, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm wore out from the Metallica concert last night, like I have not slept. And yeah, I'm tired. So let's do it like this. I hope you have the greatest New Comic Book Day ever. And as we always end these things, until next time.